Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellency Kiai Haji Muhammad Hasan Mutawakil Allah SAMM, my respected Dr. Abdul Aziz Wahab BAMAG, as Director of Zainul Hasan Islamic University, and unforgettable to Mr. Raudatul Islam as the lecturer of this class. Before, let me introduce myself. My name is Nafis dari Salamah, student of English Education Department of Zainul Hasan Islamic University, and this video is to complete the task that has given by Mrs. Okay, the first is about the social aspect that influence the language use. Okay, the first is about the culture backgrounds. A person's culture's backgrounds can influence their language use in several ways. Uh, it's like the first dialect and regional language. People from different regions may have unique dialect or language. Second, culture values and norms. Culture can influence values and norm relate to the language use, such as politeness, formality, for informality. The next, expressions and idioms. Culture can influence expressions and idiom use in language, such as proverb or characteristic phrases. The second is social class. A person's social class can influence their language use in several ways. The first is the formal and informal language. People from higher social classes may use more formal and polite language. The second is about the vocabulary and language style. Social class can influence vocabulary and language style, such as using more complex or simple words. The next is access to the educations. Social class can influence access to the educations, which is turn can affect language proficiency. The third is about the educations. A person's educations can influence their language use in several ways. First is vocabulary and language structure. Educations can influence vocabulary and language structure, such as using more complex or simple sentence. The second is language proficiency. Educations can influence language proficiency such as reading, writing, or speaking skill. The next is language style. Educations can influence language style such as using more formal or informal language. And the last is about the social group. A person's social group can influence their language use in several ways. The first is group specific language. Social group can have unique language or dialect use by members, such as slang or jargon. The next is group identity. Language can be used as a group identity, such as using unique or characteristic language. The next is group norm and values. Social groups can have norms and values related to language use, such as politeness or informality. And this social aspect can influence language use in various ways, from culture background to the social group. Okay, the next part is about the individual aspect. The individual aspect that influence language use include the first is personality. A person's personality can influence their language use. For example, extrovert people may use more casual and informal language. The second is experience. A person's experience can include can influence their language use. For example, people with broader experience may use more complex and formal language. The third is about emotions. A person's emotions can influence their language use. For example, people who are angry or sad may use more aggressive or emotional language. And the last is the purpose. A person's purpose can influence their language use. For example, people who want to persuade others may use more formal and persuasive language. Okay, that's all about my explanations, and it can be concluded that the social and individual aspect that influence language use are complex and interrelated. Therefore, it is impossible to understand and appreciate to the diversity of the language and its use in different social and individual contexts. That's all from me. Sorry for making mistakes, and I hope it have a benefit for you. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.